If you want to know about setting some boundaries, this is the video for you.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, make sure that you guys subscribe, you comment, you thumbs up. We'd love for you guys to be a part of our Thick family. There's so many videos about just being real, transparent, and just advice and tips about life as a millennial married couple. All right, you guys, so today is such an important and a very cool topic because this is a question that we always get asked about. It's the best B word that you'll ever hear aside from BEAUTYBYKEZIAH.
How to set healthy boundaries with the people that you love.
So we thought that it'll just be a great idea to share with you guys our thoughts, our experiences, and our tips and advices about how to set healthy boundaries with the people you love.
People you love include family, your friends, sometimes even your co-workers, sometimes your secretary.
Your sexy Terry.
Your oh, nice.
You never heard that joke?
Sexy Terry?
Dang, where you been? Pretty much everyone that's surrounding you that you love and that you care about. Sometimes the word boundaries comes off kind of negative, but actually it's not. It may sound like a negative connotation, but it is not. It's actually something super positive and something that could help your relationship. What is boundaries to you, DJ Thick?
It's something that you do in order to make a relationship healthier. Without boundaries, I feel like relationships... I think boundaries are important because without like right now, like this, like I'm trying to record a video and this guy's just right here, just keeps scratching my thigh. Space, Rude. That's one of the topics is space.
We need space, Rude.
We need space. Love you.
Love you.
Healthy boundaries are good to have because it allows your relationship to flourish in a way that's positive, because without those boundaries, people think they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, and you need to know how to set boundaries for people so they can respect you.
Dang,
and you can respect them.
You're adding way too much.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. That is what it means to me.
Hey, hunty, getting fired up.
Getting fired up.
Boundaries to me is kind of like a set of limits to like help establish or like preserve like an integrity for yourself so that you can protect yourself physically, mentally, and emotionally from the people that are around you. Kind of like the limit of how much you want to give and how much you should take. So me and Eli brainstormed 5 things that we've experienced ourselves or that we've seen through other people's relationships.
Number 1 is self-awareness.
The reason why we chose self-awareness is because it's really important to know first who you are, like your identity, and also where you stand on boundaries.
You gotta have people overstep those boundaries in order for you to know what those boundaries are.
Yeah.
So it has to happen at some point.
Yeah.
The point is for you to be aware of what's happening so that you can then say, no, this is something I do not like and I want to put a stop to. That is setting a boundary. That's
great that you point that out because it's a learning experience. Like, you're not just gonna wake up all of a sudden and be like, all right, these are my boundaries, these are my values. You're not gonna know that until you experience it. Like, you need to have like an awareness of your feelings. Like, what makes you uncomfortable? What is important as far as like respect, your time, your space, like how much you want to give, how much energy and effort, and how much you also want to take. It's important for you to self-assess first the things that are important for you. If you don't know that from the very get-go, you're not going to understand where you should set your line for people. You're going to know if you need to set boundaries when you're starting to have like this tug in your heart that's like, wait, I really didn't like that person takes advantage of me in that sense, or I don't like that the way they talk to me like that and how they don't respect me in that certain aspect. You're gonna feel that in your heart and it's gonna really bug you. Okay, why don't we give an example for you, Eli?
As for instance, let me give you an examil. Cover your ears real quick. So in high school, I was a straight up G, okay? And
wow. Wait.
Oh, Eli, you've been hitting the gym? Oh, Eli, you're looking a little bit more chocolatey. So for an example, besides the one where all the girls wanted me and I had to set the boundaries, I would allow people to make fun of me in a jokey way. I would not set boundaries of how far those jokes would go. Like if they talk about certain things, like it's okay to be funny and joke about things, but if you start talking about somebody's weight, the way somebody looks, or, you know, it starts getting a little bit more disrespectful. The little side comments that they'd say, you know?
You started to create kind of like an awareness like, oh my gosh, like that's actually hurtful. Like those are actually things that I shouldn't allow people to keep crossing lines or crossing boundaries. There's certain things that make you feel some type of way that you're like, okay, no, I'm not gonna allow that to.
Exactly.
Hey, we're gonna go that. We'll talk more and get deeper on that topic.
But you know who you are. You know who you are, and you better double click and subscribe. This one's about you. No, just kidding.
An example for me of having self-awareness when it comes to setting boundaries was one of my love languages, like quality time and like giving time and a lot of effort for the people that I love. Because sometimes I feel that people need me a lot. Like I allow myself to be there for them at any time, at any cost, even if I have to sacrifice some things of my own just for me to be there for the people that I love. For the longest time, it's okay for me because, you know, I don't expect anything in return when I do things for the people that I love especially. But it came to a point where some people are taking that for granted more than appreciating. And that's when I started to realize, I'm like, wait, we're scared. Like I need to make sure that I only give enough to where it's not affecting my feelings, it's not affecting my emotions. I'm setting that boundary, that limit, that line of how much I should give so that I don't feel hurt, so that I don't feel some type of way.
Some type of way.
Hey, moving on.
And to backpack self-awareness, we chose number 2 as communication.
Communication.
Communication. You want to be self-aware, that's 1.
Yeah.
But 2 is you want to communicate, hey, I don't like that. So that they don't continue to do these certain things to you.
I think it's important to know and to communicate to people that are currently hurting you because you're not setting these boundaries. Sometimes it's better to explain than just to express. Don't just express that you're hurt. Explain to that person, explain your feelings to that person why you're feeling this way. Also, usually people that don't set boundaries are people that love to please people, right? Majority of the time, they don't want to communicate that it's hurting them. You know, they just bottle it in because they want to make that person happy. They don't want to hurt that person. I used to be a people pleaser. What I didn't realize is that I'm actually hurting myself by pleasing them. And
Mama said it's my fault. I wear my heart on my sleeve. Think it's best I put my heart on nice, cause I can't breathe. This is really hard for me. This is something that I'm still working on because for a long time I was that guy who was just like, no, like it's okay, like it doesn't bother me. But really, it did bother me. I was just too afraid to communicate it. So it took a while, probably up until like 2 years ago, where I was able to communicate what exactly it is that I did not like, and then it came out of nowhere, and everybody's like,
he was a hyena.
I was the hyena.
Because majority of the time, if you bottle those feelings up underneath the rug, all of a sudden, you know, it just starts piling up like lava, and then all of a sudden it just erupts, and you don't want to get there. No, it's a lesson learned.
That's a lesson learned.
It's a lesson learned. It's part of growing up. Speaking about communication as well, I think it's really important also who we share our problems to, who we share our situations with, our marriage, with our career. I think it's really important that we also are careful. For instance, you know, some of the things that I share to my friends, I don't necessarily share to my family. Some of the things I share with my family, I don't share with my friends. I think we have to be careful about the things that we share with the people we love, especially. To each its own, right? Like everyone has different friends, everyone has different families, so you know how everybody takes things. We've learned that lesson already.
Like the great Annie Dawes says,
AKA my mother.
That's Mama Dawes. You must protect your garden. And she actually gave me this talk when I was about to get married. Do you like gardens? I was like, here we go. I was like, yes, I love gardens, honey.
So I think it's really important that we protect our garden. For example, like we don't really share to our family, for instance, like our finances, because we just don't feel comfortable.
Just because it's just something that's personal between you guys, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody cares how much you make. Nobody should need to know how much you make. They're not living under your roof. You know, things that we're thinking about or, you know, possible opportunities and issues within us, you know, other than talking to a mentor, we don't just go around talking to everybody about it.
Especially if they don't understand what we're going through, because everybody has their own opinions. If we don't set that boundary and we just share to everybody we meet, we share to every friend that we think that we trust, it could be dangerous because sometimes it could bite you in the...
So number 3, we chose space.
Space.
You know, it is true that sometimes people don't realize what they have until they don't have it. If you give them that space sometimes, after you've communicated and it continues, if you give them that space, they're gonna start to take it serious. Like, oh, this individual is really serious about what they're talking about. They're gonna really feel that, you know? So space sometimes is good for the both of you. Time for them to realize what they're doing that they need to change. Time for you to realize what it is that you wanna evaluate within that relationship.
Loving people from a distance is okay. And if you have to separate yourself from people that's hurting you and you need time to heal, time to evaluate, you know, what you think about that person. Is this person worth fighting for? Or how can I better myself? Or how can I better solve or step into that situation? I think space is so important and necessary if you are hurting. There's plenty of times that I needed to give myself space from people that I love because I love them so much. Sometimes I want to make it work. It doesn't work. It turns out to be a crazy mess. Honestly, when I gave myself space from those people and just love them from a distance, I have a different kind of love for them when I see them. Sometimes when you see people so often, you find the little things that you don't like about them and you start pointing it out and you start becoming bitter. It's not healthy for you. Now you're becoming the person that needs to have boundaries for yourself.
Exactly.
I know that I can love them better and I could be a better friend, a better daughter, a better person when I give myself a little bit of space and distance from them.
Yeah, like Lecrae says, don't be bitter, be better. I'm working on switching them letters. You know, sometimes, you know, quote, And I even needed to learn this in my own marriage. She's the kind of person who needs to have space and think about it and talk about it the next day. I'm the kind of person who wants to talk about it now. If I push her to do it my way and I don't give her that space, then woo, she starts calling me names like hippo. You hippo. Hey, you little yellow-toothed beaver. And I'm like, what? It's very important to learn that space is important. I've learned that from her. Like now if we get into an argument, I'm the one who's like, okay, I'm just gonna give you your space because I already know how it is, how we're gonna solve this better. And that's part of marriage too, but we're not talking about marriage right now.
That's a whole different YouTube video.
Oh, first year of marriage, click.
What to expect.
Here.
Right there.
Ding, ding. We know how to do that now, but.
Yeah, we do.
All right, we are here. We out here.
We leveled up. We leveled up.
Another thing that has worked for us when it comes to setting boundaries is having respect. What I mean is respect for yourself. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
Hey, okay, I see you. Respect is important to have for yourself because you need to have respect for yourself to realize that you need to set boundaries with these people, with these individuals, with these groups. This is something that's hurting you, something that's slowing you down, something that's breaking you down, bringing you hurt, bringing your pain. And someone who does not have respect for themselves is gonna continue to let this cycle continue. Come on, somebody. Respect for yourself. Fired up.
You fired up.
Woo! Because it seems like you're putting all the effort into that relationship and they're not putting that effort back. I respect myself enough to know that you're hurting me, that your decisions and the way you are treating and the way you are overstepping is hurting me, and I need to set these boundaries. All right, we out.
Mic drop.
Hey, it was nice.
You definitely touched on that like perfectly, but I do wanted to add a little bit more. The respect part is kind of like not allowing people to take advantage of you. Once people take advantage of you, it's like a continuous cycle. It's like a curse, you know, it just keeps happening over and over again. And because you love them, you just keep giving. And then you lose that respect from them because you're not respecting yourself. You're allowing them to disrespect you, your time, your energy, your money, anything that you're giving to them. Well, they're not respecting you. So I think it starts first with yourself if you want people to respect you.
Guaranteed.
Period.
Period.
All right, guys, last but not least, which is probably the most important one and probably my most favorite one, is having accountability.
Hey.
So important to have a trusted person that sees everything from a different perspective. It's good to see other person's opinion, especially if you trust them so much, because they see a different lens than you. And I think it's so important to have another wisdom from somebody else that you trust.
It's good to have a mentor or somebody that you can go to that's unbiased, that can have liberty to tell you and you won't get offended that, hey, you're out of line on this, or you need to work on this, or I'm noticing this. Honestly, that's what a true friend would do. A true friend would be there to tell you when you're messing up, when you're doing things that are not right, like Daddy Yankee did for Nicki Jam. Am I right?
Nah.
Oh my God. Daddy Yankee.
For us, like, we have like specific people that we share specific topics about. Like for instance, if we have like marriage issues, we really need advice. We do have our mentors or the people, married people that we look up to that are experienced and have that wisdom, and we go to them for advices. Actually, an accountability that I do have when it comes to certain things, like maybe friendships or maybe family issues, is Eli. Like, you're one of my accountability people that I run to, you know, that I trust. Ew. You are that person that I feel like is very like black or white, like there's no in between. It's either I'm right or wrong, and he definitely calls me out. Find a partner that calls your out.
And she does the same for me.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Calls me out.
Anybody who wants to sign up for Eli's accountability,
here are some of the criteria. Must love colored hair, must be able to wear any glasses, must be able to rock any gear. You have to tell someone, yes, I want you to tell me when I'm messing up, but you also have to be open to it. You can't be closed-minded about it when they are telling you and be all defensive.
Because sometimes when you're prideful, you know, you don't allow somebody else to tell you or call you out on things that you know in your heart. And I think that's very hard for a lot of people that kind of like are very independent, the know-it-all people. Trust me, I could say that because I was that too, and sometimes I'm still like that at times. We're so independent and we're very like goal-minded. We tend to shut people out because we're like, oh no, like I know what I'm doing, I know my truth.
Did you just say I know my truth?
So make sure that you search for that person that you trust. We can't do everything on our own, and we can't just rely heavily on what we think of situations are, because we could be wrong.
Thank you so much for joining us for another video.
I'm so glad that you guys voted for this topic because I love this topic, and every time that you guys have any questions or you need advice, just comment down below or DM us on our Instagram. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram because we post things there that you don't get to see here on YouTube, and connect with us and ask questions. We love hearing from you guys.
And we love to learn from you guys as well. There's a ton of people who are way more experienced in situations than us, so we would love to learn from you guys as well. If you guys have things that you guys have that we didn't talk about,
make sure to comment down below if there's anything else that you want to add into that. If you don't agree to something, like, we're very open to what you guys have to say, and everything you say is important and it matters to us. I know we haven't been around for a while. We just moved, we celebrated our anniversary. There was just so many things going on. If you guys haven't watched our music video, it was to celebrate our 2nd wedding year anniversary. Make sure to check it out right there.
Somewhere around here.
Somewhere around here. Make sure you click that and check it out.
Once again, everybody, I am DJ Thick. This is
Mrs. Thick.
And together we are the
Thicks.
I've been thinking lately, hey, and I just wanna feel your love. So
me go. Oh my gosh, you don't even know our song? How dare you?
Baby.